Oh man, almost 3 months. Welcome back to the What's on Your Mind podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Anthony Brinson. Matter of fact, I don't even do it this early in the episode just to make sure we record and listen. The real fans know we always have a little check, and we're trying some new equipment. I'm trying a new mic, if you can tell. So if there's any like weird noise, I do apologize. I hope it sounds good, but guys, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just so happy to be back. I'm so happy to be back recording. There's been a lot that has been going on, and usually I sound like all the creators that be doing this to their fan base that don't post in a while, every excuse, but there genuinely has been a lot been going on. Shout out my sister, shout out Dejanay. I actually was just on the phone with her before recording, and I just was giving her a view of things, and she's been in my life, and even she hasn't been aware of all the things that's been going on. And I will be transparent with you guys, and it is going to be a lot of important, sad information. I'm not going to give too much away just for my own personal comfort, but just as an explanation as far as where I've been. Unfortunately, if you guys know me in my personal life, you would be aware that I did lose my other grandmother um, on my mom's side, and it's been a lot. It's been a lot to deal with, and especially after losing my grandmother on my dad's side, it's it's really reshaped how I view a lot of things and how I just process a lot to where I couldn't imagine my life without them. And especially at the older my parents get, the older I get, I just become more and more grateful for the people that are not only in my life, but the people who want to be in my life. I've recently in my life, especially around the time my grandmother on my dad's side got sick a few years ago, and then just around that time period, a couple years ago, for the past few years, since about like 23-ish to 2026 to now, it's been a lot going on. And um, I did talk about in the last episode, that was the big thing. I had the graduation cap on. I have graduated. And ever since then, it's been wild. So just talking about my grandmother passing, and then if you guys notice, I'm in a different location. I'm in the process of moving apartments right now, and I'll just say that it's important to surround yourself in the best situations and around the best people you can, because you never know how your safety can be put in danger, and just when it's the appropriate time for you to be somewhere, when it's the appropriate time for you to find a different location. So um, I'm sure that this process will, no matter what, it'll be in the hands of the Lord, because that's also a long, tedious process. But we moving and we potting, and I'm gonna look back on this episode so happy and so proud, because I'm gonna keep to my word that this podcast is gonna change people's lives. And it's gonna change my life. So just a quick update on where I've been. And if you see me reaching over, it's my computer, reaching over to my computer for my notes. And I'm not supposed to be biting my nails. And shout out to visual watchers. We'll get right into it, man. Look, gosh, I mean, shout out to Snorlax hat, because ever since the last episode I recorded, one of my favorite artists, and recently I struggled with even giving him that mantle. I'm not gonna take him off the list just yet, but J. Cole has, ever since I last recorded, he's dropped his highly anticipated album, The Fall Off, and he's recently been on a media tour of going on certain interviews with certain platforms. And I'm gonna get into my thoughts of the project first, but this media tour he's been on, I've deemed it just like a self-deprecation tour. Like it's been very odd and very interesting to hear the things that come out of J. Cole's mouth, especially since after the battle, because it seems like he contradicts a lot of the things that he said in the past, not even that long ago, just like last few rollouts ago. And it just seems like I can't even remember if I addressed it in the last episode I recorded leading up to the fall off, but it seems like a lot of authenticity is gone from J. Cole. And it seems like this battle, the aftermath of the battle between Kendrick and Drake, didn't really sit well with J. Cole to the point where now it seems as though he feels above everything. But I want to get into my review of the fall off first because J. Cole is one of my favorite artists. And I've been someone who's listened to J. Cole for a while. My favorite album that I've heard from start to finish from J. Cole at the time of this recording would be Born Sinner. I have a Born Sinner vinyl. And whether it's from Born Sinner, that era where he's still making good music, but Cole is still letting the audience know who he is. He's letting the audience know he's a born sinner, no matter what he does is perfect. No matter what he does, he's not perfect. And throughout the journey of his music, throughout the album and throughout his career, he's attempted to showcase that no matter what, he's always still that kid from the Ville who's just fighting to make a name for himself. And he attempts to go back to that story on the fall off where he does a double disc and he separates the albums in twos where the first half is, to my interpretation, into a lot of uh, things said on the album about the album. The first side is supposed to be him when he's 29 years old, to where he's younger and he's still up and coming. He talks about trying to get that signing from Jay-Z. In fact, he calls him a so-called GOAT and then later says that he didn't mean that as a diss. Could be taken, however, but talks about getting signed, talks about his experiences in the Ville, in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'm pretty sure Fayetteville, North Carolina. Apologies if I'm getting that wrong, but Fayetteville, where he experienced seeing the people around him go through certain things and how that shaped his mind and how he had to reshape certain things. And then later on in the next half of the album, he's more mature 10 years later to where he's revisited Fayetteville and he's thinking back all the experiences they had beforehand and how it's led him to this moment. And, to start off positively, I feel J. Cole is incapable of making bad music, as he's one of my favorite artists, and the effort he puts into his craft, especially his writing, is very impeccable, to where you got tracks like 2-6 or the first half of Who the Fuck Is You, where he really pinpoints that style of inner rhyming and the bars that he's ending with standing out and the punchlines being really good. And there are moments in this project to where you see glimpses of prime Cole where he's able to get his message across, have a good rhyme scheme, and showcase his very good rapping ability. I think, unfortunately, where this album falls, no pun intended, is where, especially for this to be built as his retirement project or his last project for a while, it doesn't really impress me overall. It throughout the project, especially with it being a pretty long project, it left me feeling as though every time Cole had something in the project, especially production wise, like specifically, I highlight the first half of Who the Fuck Is You, because that beat switch literally ruins the song for me. And it seems like throughout this album, he had a direction and it sort of swapped throughout mid project to where he, even throughout the story where he goes through 2-6 and then Poor Thing, he then, I feel like when he switches the tone of the album, it's not as smooth and the transitions don't really go well together. Whereas it's a bit rough throughout the project, and unfortunately, the main word I would use to describe my feeling from this project would be a bit underwhelming, because even when you highlight the tracks like 2-6, who the F is you, um, the Common sample, I used to love her. I think that's the name of it. Tracks like that. Uh, the Let Out. My favorite song on the project is definitely the Let Out, where he goes with the production, he uses his voice as an instrument, and tracks like that he really shines. But it's like a 20-something song project, and there are only a few tracks I can take away from it where I'm like, that feels like Cole. And then usually I say, like, hey, especially on the internet, this is a crime. People act like your opinion can't change, you can't grow. There are many projects in my life where I didn't like it at first and it grew on me. And I have been thinking, especially with the tracks I took away from the Fall Off, like, man, I really want to listen to the Fall Off one more time to see if I can come away from it, because J. Cole is one of my favorite artists. Like, if I end up liking this project, hey, I'll get the vinyl. It'll be more music I can listen to from one of my faves. And just as I was about to give the project another try, because I listened to it about, I think, from start to finish once, and then like multiple times, from like 3 or 4 times where I went back and listened to like majority of it. But it's a pretty long project. So, and I've replayed the tracks that I named earlier a lot. So, what really pushed me away from going back into the album is this media tour that J. Cole is going on, because I want to get the order right. Let me make sure in my notes that I refer to this correctly, because shout out J. Cole first again for doing his interview with Cameron, because that situation had gotten pretty weird to where, for context, J. Cole had worked with Cameron on the Might Delete Later project, and he had asked Cam to do a couple features for him, and Cam had knocked him out pretty quickly. And Cam was expecting and had talked to J. Cole like, yo, hey, I knocked some features out for you. Let me get a little interview. Come on the show. And Cole had told him like, hey, I got you, but I'm working on the Fall Off right now. It's a lot going on. I'm going to hit you on this date. And then it never happened. And so Cameron went to legal enforcers to try and issue a lawsuit to, at the time, the assumption was to get J. Cole's attention, because Cameron didn't really seem like the type to pursue things further. And we end up figuring out in this interview that was the case, that J. Cole expressed like, hey, I was bullshitting. Like, I had told you this date, and then I wasn't done with the Fall Off yet, and I told you another date, and I still wasn't done. And then I told you another date, and you guessed it, still wasn't done. And so I kept having to tell you that, and then it felt like you was sounding like, yo, it felt like you was giving me the runaround. Like, it felt like as I was telling you that I wasn't done with the project, you felt like I was BSing you and I wasn't trying to do that. And Cameron like, yo, like, yeah, Like, pretty much. Like, I ain't want that lawsuit to go nowhere, but I had to get your attention. Like, especially because I knocked those features out quick. I didn't take you for no crazy dude, but I was wondering, like, what happened. Like, it felt like you spent me. So that was cool that they got the interview done. And the interview overall was actually pretty nice. But J. Cole seems to kind of talk himself in the corner sometimes, to where he'd get on certain topics and you start to realize that J. Cole is the perfect example of why always staying in the middle is very problematic and dangerous, because not only do you never showcase where you stand, but your words, and you end up tripping over your own words and your message gets diluted because you don't really, your actions don't really match your words. And for J. Cole, it seems like throughout his whole career, he seems like this walking contradiction, to where even as a fan, I've always questioned people who criticize J. Cole. Why do they feel that J. Cole never sticks, or why doesn't J. Cole music ever land for them? And throughout this media tour, it unfortunately opens my eyes. The apology was the first thing, and this media tour now opens my eyes to where J. Cole doesn't really feel J. Cole. J. Cole doesn't really believe in J. Cole. And that is a very just mind-boggling thing to wrap my head around, because it makes you question, like, what does J. Cole believe in? To where in the camera interview, Cam asked him, was the Diddy story true? To where, for context, J. Cole had gotten into a fight with Diddy and swung on him. And J. Cole has talked about this on the off season, and J. Cole admitted that the story was true, but that he didn't want to tell the story because of what Diddy is going through, and he doesn't want to kick Diddy while he's down. So he talked about how there was a period where he was going to tell it. Like, hey, yo, I was going to tell the story, but like, then everything happened. And then now I don't want to kick him while he's down. First of all, for some odd reason, there were people trying to say that's not defending Diddy. So listen, I saw Screwface Jean do it. I don't know if I'm going to put the edit up or I'm just going to say it. But like, if you look up the definition of defending, even if you don't look it up, everybody's basic definition of defending should be, at least in my brain, preventing someone from looking in a negative light for various reasons. And not that J. Cole, because I can at least because we also go talk about Usher and his comments with Diddy. I can at least give J. Cole the out that it's not like a lawyer to where he's coming in, he's trying to protect Diddy's name, to where we go get into Usher, to where Usher went a bit worse, but J. Cole is still actively attempting to protect Diddy's character. And that is defending him. That is making sure that he doesn't, especially he was so ironic. Screwface Jean said this as well, to where it was so ironic he used the phrase he didn't want to kick Diddy while he was down. But the situation why Diddy is caught is because he was literally kicking a woman while she was down. So, like, they talked about it on the Joe Budden podcast as well, where I think it was Flip, he asked, especially as it was about the Usher thing, like, are people expected to not talk positively about Diddy if they had a good experience with him just for everything that's going on? Yes. J. Cole, first of all, yes. You shouldn't, this is not the time to be like, yeah, I had a good experience with him. Like, I had a good experience with that abuser. Like, no, this is not the time to know. I don't want to hear about that. J. Cole, why do you want to protect somebody's character? And why don't you want to kick somebody that was down? Why don't you want to kick an abuser down? Like, why don't you want to put more mud on the abuser's name? Why don't you want to paint that abuser in a more negative light? Even if it was just that with the Cassie situation, that's enough to not want to protect somebody's name and to want to kick somebody while he's down, to want to tell this story. You never know the impact that story could have. To hear a black man standing up against somebody that has not only terrorized his own community, but has terrorized women, and we don't know. All we know for sure is the Cassie stuff, let alone all the allegations that he's had. And speaking of Usher's comments, Usher went on a bit worse to say that, you know, he never had a bad experience with Diddy, and a lot of the things with him are misrepresented. Misrepresented. I'm pretty sure he used it because I don't think it was misinterpreted. I think he said misrepresented. So him kicking a woman while she died, that was misrepresented. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, these niggas be weird as fuck in the industry. Like, I'ma just go ahead and be like, hey, listen, just like Dot said, I don't know Kendrick Lamar in real life either, but just like he said, fuck you niggas and fuck the industry too. Like, hey, the industry can hate me. Fuck them all and their mama. Like, listen, yeah, I don't know these people in real life. I don't know J. Cole in real life. I clearly don't want to know Diddy. Don't know Diddy in real life. But it's very odd that people are still coming to the defense of someone who is, at bare minimum, been someone who's abusive. And the only reason he even owned up to the abuse of Cassie is because it got revealed. If it never got revealed, he would still be denying it. So it's very weird for J. Cole to not want to kick him while he's down. It's very weird for Usher to say that he's misrepresented. I don't know, man. At least that's it with Usher, because J. Cole has continued to go on these interviews, and he went on to go on the 7 p.m. in Brooklyn podcast with Carmelo Anthony. And shout out Melo and them for their show, man. They do a wonderful job. I'm a big fan of their platform as a podcast. And again, the Cameron and the Melo interview I watched in its entirety, or most of the interviews. The last interview, Lost in Vegas, I couldn't after these first two clips, and I just watched a clip for the Lost in Vegas. But for 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, I watched most of the interview, and it was actually a pretty good interview. But again, Cole trips over his own words to where he going to talk about, like, yo, I rap like, I'm the best rapper in the world. But if you were to ask me in real life if I'm the best rapper, ask me in real life if I'm the best rapper. Do I feel like I'm the best rapper in the world? Do you feel you're the best rapper in the world, Jermaine? J. Cole? No. I know it's niggas who, hey, I feel like on any night I can put up 80. But no, at first he was like, no, it's niggas like Black Thought that exist. It's niggas like Lupe Fiasco that exist. I know on some nights I can put up 80. But I know on some nights, especially even people like my contemporaries like Kendrick and Drake can put up 80 and I can only put up 30. I'm sitting here like, oh my, like, the JJK meme going on right now, the dude, like, the judge, no, dude, no, like, dog, listen. For people that don't watch wrestling or WWE, shout out my WWE fans. We'll talk some wrestling later on in the episode. Let me make sure. Again, I'm paranoid, guys. I just want to make sure I have it recorded in a minute. Make sure I'm still recording. And matter of fact, since I'm up, shout out water. Make sure y'all drinking water. My ass MRP. I'm trying to make sure that wasn't too bad. But for people who don't watch wrestling or don't watch WWE, there's a term used in the community called kayfabe, where usually the phrase is keeping kayfabe alive, meaning you protect the mystique and the story behind the movie or the act or the story, to where a lot of people, and I hate when people do this, but a lot of people call the WWE fake, like, oh, that shit not real, etc. To where the storylines are manufactured. They don't obviously, a lot of the times, even though they do put real life things into the story, sometimes they don't have a lot of real beef like that's fabricated. But the choreography is more physical, and while none of that is relevant, there's usually the agreement to not reveal a lot of the behind the scenes things that go on behind the company to keep the lore and the mystique alive of the business, so where when you watch it, you're still surprised, you're still in awe. And just like if they're coming out with the new Avengers movie, you wouldn't want Robert Downey Jr. to tell you he doesn't enjoy playing the character, because that will potentially take away from when you see him taking the character, especially if you see him or if you portray him not putting a lot of effort into the character. So with J. Cole, it's like, you know what, bro? In the simplest form, I have a lot of problems with the quote, but in the simplest form, it's like, at bare minimum, why should I listen to you if you don't feel that your story is the most important to hear over others? Because that's what hip hop is. Especially, we go also talk about Jay-Z, the Jay-Z interview that he had a while, to where it's so polarizing when people don't view hip hop as a sport, or when people don't understand the importance of battling or confrontation in life and in hip hop, because unfortunately, confrontation is unavoidable. Everybody is not going to like you. Everybody should not like you, because if you're truly unique, you're going to clash with people. And so it's just heavily important how you handle that clash and how you handle that confrontation, especially when confrontation is brought to you. And the origins of hip hop, Black people needed a voice. Black people needed a way to let out their anger, their frustration, their sadness, and to not take it out on each other and to not take it out physically. So we had the opportunity to use our words and to express ourselves, freedom of expression through our clothes, our outfits, and our personas and our outfits. That's what culture is. And when there was an issue with somebody, a contemporary who also rapped, instead of pushing it to the streets or physical altercations, we allowed people to describe why their moments were more important to others. When it was outside of a battle, when it was just people putting out their music, it gave everybody an opportunity to tell their story. And if everybody is rapping, you have to ask the question as a consumer, what makes you interesting? And with J. Cole, when I hear him say pretty much that he's putting on a facade and he doesn't believe the things he says, it makes me then reshape my viewpoint of him and just ask, if you don't believe the things that you're doing and saying, then how can I appreciate the things that you're saying and doing? Same reason why the apology is so bad. Like, hey man, great person, maybe that's a whole nother conversation. But the authenticity, the reason why the authenticity is getting so depleted and is J. Cole becomes less authentic, and why the apology is so bad, is because you put out something that you feel, we think you're putting out something that you feel is your best work and you feel you stand on, and then you tell us that not, you didn't want to do it in the first place, you only pretty much got peer pressure, and then you don't stand by the things you say, and you not only don't stand by it, even though that person dissed you. Some people would interpret this first, because if people were to believe J. Cole and say he wasn't intentionally dissing Kendrick on first person shooter, which if I'm Kendrick, I'm going to talk about that too. I clearly get why Kendrick would take that shit as a diss. But if you feel that way, then Kendrick dissed him first and you defended yourself, and yet you don't stand by it. You come on in this interview and talk about how if you actually listen, a lot of J. Cole's music is talking about, just like I talked about earlier with the Fall One, how he wrapped it all together. His whole story is how he's a kid from the Ville coming up, trying to show he's the best and show why he's better than everybody. That's a lot of his music. So for him to say that he don't believe that, that literally means a lot of his music is just something he does not stand by. And he literally views, it shows a lot on how he views hip hop and how he views rap. Because he tried so hard to get on something that he just didn't believe in or grew to believe less in over time, if I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. And it shows why he may be leaving hip hop and why he's expressing the views he does. Because when you think about his entire rollout before the beef, when you think about everything leading up until the fall off, KOD, he goes on the offseason, talk about the fall off. He builds up. He goes on a feature run, talk about this is the same man who said he will go to hell if Jesus Christ asks for a feature. Eureka. I signed the theory of relativity. Really no MC equal. Like, headshot, and I go and ask the best rappers that died. This is the same nigga just on the fall off who said, and I rolled my eyes and I heard it the first time, and it's growing. It's the lyric is aging worse. This nigga is on 2-6, the same nigga who said got a closet full of skeletons. Don't believe me, call your favorite rapper for the evidence. Nigga, my favorite rappers are Kendrick Lamar. Some of my favorite rappers are Kendrick Lamar and Eminem. I ain't hear no M song, and we clearly see how you feel about Kendrick. So then when you go as far as say you don't even feel like you the best, you just talking. It's like, how can I feel all you got rappers in the closet and you don't even believe you the best? At bare minimum, I would want the person speaking to me to at least feel they believe the things that are coming from their mouth. I'm a big battle rap fan. Shout out John. I think it's Holla the Don. I think it's his battle rap name. It was the battle between Holla the Don and Joe Budden. This nigga Holla told him, bro. Nigga walked. First of all, I'm gonna just say the end of the bar because I don't want to butcher it. This nigga walked up to Joe like, man, fuck that jagged edge. I got a 112 for Joe to see. Like, dude, for just in case if you don't get it, he walked up to him, jagged edge, like a blade, but jagged edge, Joe to see, like R&B is R&B scheme. Crazy bar, but I don't know if the nigga got a 112. I don't know if the nigga got a gun like that. I don't care. It's entertainment. And it's different from naming niggas that's in the grave and be like, yeah, fuck that nigga that's in the grave. All that shit is lame as fuck. But, and listen, it's a whole nother conversation about drill. But I don't believe he has a gun that big in his whatever he go do to Joe. You know what I do believe from that battle rapper? That he feels that he was better than Joe Budden that day. Joe believed that he was better than Holla that day. Joe Budden, when he speaks, you know why Joe Budden speaks as confidently as he do? Because you can pull up a freestyle or a cipher or a song and realize that Joe Budden rap better than a lot of niggas. So he speaks the way he do because at least at bare minimum, he believed that he was better than a lot of niggas. And he still clearly feels that he's better than a lot of niggas in certain areas of the things that he's done in his life. He feels that he has a higher music critique than others. Joe, for some reason, Joe don't feel he's an elitist, which is crazy. But he speaks as confidently as he does because he believes the things he do. You know why Kendrick Lamar speak the way he do and say, fuck the big three, nigga, it's just big me? Because he believes it. Hell, Drake believed it. Like, to hear him say that he doesn't feel it, just like I mentioned, it makes a lot of sense how we're coming full circle into this conversation. He goes on the Lost in Vegas platform, their reaction channel, and people, I don't watch a lot of their content, I'm familiar with them. People said that they were pretty pro Drake for the battle. I mean, I've gone on record, I've talked about, and I'm going to talk about it again momentarily. I've talked about my views of the big three before the battle and after, to where I was a big fan of all three, but I was a bigger Drake fan, bigger Cole fan. I'm like, listen, these niggas about to finally show. Neither of them niggas showed nothing. Kendrick, nigga, mustard on the beat, whole Debo. And this is why battles are so important, because each one of them showed how they view the culture, how important the culture is to them. And it really opened your eyes to them as artists to really show how authentic they are, at least in my opinion, to where Kendrick Lamar has his flaws as well. But the cop out, he at least is a hypocrite and he at least expresses it, which is a good cop out, it's still a cop out. But furthermore, he at least stands on the shit he says, to where that battle was so important. It really, at least for me and a lot of people, opened my eyes to honestly which artist I relate to the most. Because I truly cannot fathom the shit that J. Cole and Drake have done post battle. And even for Kendrick Lamar to be somebody, again, Kendrick Lamar speaks up for black women on GNX. Don't let no white comedian talk about no black women. That's law. Drake chooses to not only say the shit he said, rapping like you're getting the slaves free, but handles shit after the battle. During the battle, he handled during the battle and after the battle poorly as fuck. And J. Cole has as well, to where Drake has gone on. At least J. Cole hasn't sued, but at least Drake believed in his mind that he was going to win that battle. Drake believed in his mind for some reason that he was a bigger and better artist than Kendrick Lamar. No fault of his for him to feel he's better. He should feel he's better. But for some reason, he felt he was a bigger artist than Kendrick Lamar. And that was one of his biggest mistakes, feeling like Kendrick Lamar was so beneath him. And that fucked him over. And again, it makes complete sense of how he gets to where he gets with a lawsuit. He felt Kendrick Lamar was so beneath him mentality-wise and numbers-wise that when Kendrick Lamar smacked that nigga across his face and showed him shit really wasn't sweet. And you're like, oh, no, it had to be bots. No, nigga. The nigga just made better music than you. So J. Cole goes on for Lost in Vegas to talk about how the culture is just a buzzword, to where, and part of his point, again, J. Cole trips over himself so much because part of his point makes sense, to where he talks about how the internet, even him and Jay-Z, touched on a similar point, even though they landed in two completely different spots, on how they both mentioned, and J. Cole in this sense mentioned how the internet pretty much takes things too far, and how they make the culture, they redefine what the culture is based on what's valid to them. And while that can partially make sense, it's just very ironic how the two beneficiaries, how the two non-beneficiaries from the battle all of a sudden Drake felt, oh, rap is in a weird spot, talking him down on rap and saying he don't need rap. J. Cole saying the culture is just a buzzword. It's funny how the non-beneficiaries don't really connect with the culture as much no more. And J. Cole even seems like he's more above confrontation, above battling. He even walked back on Port Thing, where he goes on an entire rant calling a nigga a punk bitch on the song. But then when asked about it, he said like, yo, hey, who you talking about in the song? Yo, that ain't really even important. Like, I'm really talking about a lot of niggas. Like, dog, what do you stand for? What do you believe in, dog? What do you believe in? And it's a bit interesting because he even also in the camera interview talks about how he hate what the culture did to Drake. And that's another thing, this weird trend of people trying to victimize Drake from the battle. Drake was calling that man a woman beater. He was calling that man's wife a bitch. He was saying his son's kid's not his. First of all, that's defaming, Drake. It's not. You wouldn't win. Nobody win a defamation case. Rap as whole. Niggas, especially as somebody that had to take criminal justice classes for my degree and know what defamation actually is. A lot of people don't understand defamation or freedom of speech. We're gonna talk about that too. But like, Drake wasn't a victim. Drake released the first whole diss track. First of all, they've been dissing each other like a Cold War for the past 10 years. Even though I don't agree with this, Drake didn't have to respond. I feel he should have. I applauded him all the way up until the lawsuit. Defend yourself. But he didn't have to respond. And then when he responded, Kendrick made it very clear, hey, nigga, we could keep this. This is a friendly fade. You should keep it that way. Drake didn't want to listen. That's his prerogative. I don't blame him. He's a grown man. He's a rapper. Defend yourself. But then you didn't keep it. He took it further. Kendrick made it. If you take it there, I'm going to take it further. Drake took it there. Kendrick took it further. Drake's not no victim. J. Cole not no victim either. Dog, shout out Jalopy, battle rapper and content creator, mutual of mine on Twitter. He made a good point. Like, why won't nobody ask this nigga about Port Antonio? Where he goes on to rap on how, like, hey, I seen what I was about to go. Niggas wanted to see blood. Like, if I really, like, if I would have participated, I would have lost the bro. Like, niggas wanted to see, but, like, nigga, it is truly not that deep, dog. Between Drake and Kendrick, it was that deep. They clearly did not have a good relationship with each other. But Kendrick Lamar has made it very clear since control. Like, this is a sport to him. This is a livelihood. And especially if you know the alleged story of First Person Shooter, where allegedly Drake presented the song to Kendrick first. And Kendrick denied him. Kendrick says even, hey, surprised you wanted that feature request. You know we got some shit to address. And after that, he presented the song to J. Cole. So he presented the song to Kendrick first. Kendrick says no. And by the way, I don't know if I've said it on wax or not, but just to correct something, apparently even out of J. Cole's mouth, nobody, Schoolboy Q, nobody pulled that man aside for him to apologize. That nigga apologized on his own being. But Drake presents the song to Kendrick first. Kendrick turns it down. He then goes to J. Cole and makes a song with J. Cole. And then them two niggas get on the song and say, we the only two niggas that exist. We the best two niggas in the league. And J. Cole saying, we the big three like we started the league. But right now, I feel like Muhammad Ali. Everybody's steppers, but fucking, I'm going to clean up my plate. Drake saying, yeah, this is a Super Bowl, but the difference is this is two guys playing shit that they did in the studio. Niggas really send their verses back to me, but they be terrible just like a 2-year-old. Like, who the GOAT? I'm like, go ahead. Like, who you bitches really rooting for? Like a kid that act bad from January to November, nigga. It's just you and Cole, big as the Super Bowl. Like, if I'm Kendrick, yes, I would be pissed as fuck, be like, damn. So these niggas, not only I didn't turn the song down, but then this nigga go to Cole and Thompson. It's just these two niggas saying they the best. Steppers, fucking clean with the play. Big three, you Muhammad Ali, nigga, fuck y'all. How about that? How about that? I'm the best. Fuck, don't compare me to them two niggas. It's me, then them. And Kendrick Lamar showed that clearly, especially album to album. Stop comparing J. Cole to Kendrick. Period. I love J. Cole. If we just going pen for pen, that's when we can start back to have a convo. Album for album, stop. And it's so deep with how much of an impact this battle has had, even still to this day. Dog, it's been 2 years. To see how each artist has handled themselves since that moment, to where Kendrick really, unless provoked, really kept his mouth shut. Drake was doing the shit he do, saying rap is dead, you know, you don't really need rap. Going on niggas stream. I think it went on like Aiden stream, I think, talking shit. That's when then we said that he said fuck a rap beef, I'm trying to get the party lit, but then still sending shots. Niggas was mean-munging DeMar DeRozan at his job because he was at the music video. So nigga removed the LeBron tattoo, posted about this, and then did it. Removed the LeBron tattoo because LeBron's at the pop out. All this shit. So then Kendrick say like, hey, you know, he changed the lyrics to Euphoria where he say, we could be on a 4-hour time difference instead of 3-hour time difference. So he did that. He had the Super Bowl shot. He performed out like it was the Super Bowl. So again, just like how people say, for some reason, people keep saying, let the battle go. Stop talking about the battle. Both Drake and Kendrick are going to forever egg each other on. This is how the shit is going to work. It's how it worked with Jay-Z and Nas, how it worked with Pac and Bit. Like, all these battles, 50 and, like, it's how it's going to work. So Kendrick did his little petty shit too, but not to the level of Drake, to where Kendrick is moved on. Like, Kendrick has chose to drop GNX, have a platform with a black woman, by the way. Because even Joe, bro, I love the Joe Budden podcast. I love Joe. Even Joe said some bullshit saying Kendrick don't really sit with, and it was a quick comment, could have really been ignored. Even I said I was going to leave it alone, but it relates too much where he said Kendrick doesn't sit with black people in interviews. Not only is that factually not true, Kendrick shows his support for the black community a lot, especially more in comparison to artists that they talk about. So it's like, what's up, dog? Like, what's the vibe? To where again, even he speaks about black women. He goes on a tour with a black woman and says that platforms and ends up having, I think, the largest growing tour for rap ever. I think, and beating his own record for Mr. Morale. And Drake is going on thing to do the things he do. J. Cole is going on to do the things he does, and we're really gonna probably see the ripple effects of this battle for a very long time. To where even there was a situation to where 21 Savage was on IG Live, and I try my best to make my segues flow pretty smoothly, and it feel like a lot of times the news just does it for me because we previously thought like, hey, 21 Savage and Metro Boomin, like they cool, they got a nice little thing going on. Bro, why apparently, I say apparently, especially as a journalist, just my natural instinct is to be like, hey, allegedly, like y'all niggas not about to get me locked up, but it's on a video. To where 21 was on IG Live, this nigga Metro came in the IG Live. He's apparently called that nigga OVO Salvage and then left. Like, hey, you're untied. I know you need to take balance. Like, niggas don't really fuck with each other like that. And that's so crazy. And the niggas that ride for Drake, like, again, that's your prerogative. But just, we not gonna act like this nigga was just some. Because even then, J. Cole said, and Jay-Z said as well, and again, segue, but like, you hate to see people do Drake how they did and make it about his personal life, and fans take it too far. Listen, entertainers, even myself, have a huge responsibility in the audience that we cultivate. And so Drake has cultivated this audience that's snobby and pretends that they're better than everybody, and Drake is they're above people. And the reason why people celebrate Not Like Us in that moment is because Drake is the same nigga who would capitalize on that same shit. And nobody had a problem when it was Meek Mill. Nobody had a problem when Drake was dissing Megan Thee Stallion. Nobody had a problem when Drake was on the stage with a 17-year-old kissing a 17-year-old girl. Like, with niggas, and even unfortunately me, until the lawsuit was my nail in the coffin. People can even criticize me and say they took the lawsuit instead of all the other stuff that he did. It'd be a fair criticism. All the shit that niggas let him get away with, and he's the one who doesn't appreciate when somebody gets the one up on him. He sues and feels the label can't push Kendrick how they did, but yet they pushed his tracks how he did, talking about Kendrick was a woman beater, how his wife's a bitch, how the nigga literally said, shake that ass, bitch, hands on your knees, hands on your knees. Shake that ass for Drake, now shake that ass for me. Now, I ain't talking free, I'm talking about that nigga Dave. Your man's a love cake. We call that shit a mini Drake. By the way, for the niggas that be trying to say Drake wasn't rapping in Family Matters, listen, I don't fuck with the nigga either. We just not gonna lie though. But if he wrote it, whoever wrote it. But like, Drake get to talk crazy and do crazy shit. Cole get to say shit and backtrack it, but yet we as the fans are crazy. We're the ones that want blood. We're the ones that take it too far when we hold them niggas accountable for the shit they do and say. No, that's not how the fuck that gonna work. J. Cole is one of the biggest gaslighters out right now because he will sit there and do something and then look you in your face and tell you that you're wrong for interpreting it a certain way. J. Cole just recently in a fire verse where Mike Will made it said, fuck them sympathy Grammys that they try to give you. Again, if I'm somebody and even if it's not as direct as, if I'm somebody like Kendrick Lamar who undoubtedly but understandably plays the game, goes in front of the white faces, goes in front of the black faces, makes the collaborations with everybody, goes to the Grammys to accept the awards. There's a healthy criticism to be made on Kendrick Lamar that he commodifies and uses blackness for the sake of entertaining white people for what they accept as okay for the black community. To where Kendrick Lamar is definitely somebody who plays that game in the middle, to where what's the okay black experience for white people, Kendrick Lamar sort of puts on display. Where even Kendrick has a past, to where Kendrick, there was, even if you dig really, really deep, Kendrick has always talked the best about black women. Kendrick, even in Mr. Morale, talks about how he cheated on with a white woman, and then Kendrick Lamar, understandably, he is the people like Lil Bill's Barbershop talk about how Drake wasn't talented or let me not say intelligent, talented or well in the know enough to articulate on the Kendrick just opened his mouth, someone give him a Grammy right now. To where if you pay attention to Kendrick Lamar's career and even the things Kendrick Lamar talks about in his own music, you can understand that Kendrick Lamar willingly puts on a form of rap that is not only for the culture, but just tame enough to be accepted outside the culture. And that's very intentional from Kendrick Lamar, at least in my interpretation of his music, to where people, put it like this, people view him as a radical, to where he's really more balanced than you think. Like, especially if we get into some of the political things he's talked about, where, I mean, the nigga dressed up as Jesus. Like, we gotta understand, like, these artists are not perfect either. But the bigger point into all this picture is the impact that this battle has shown that each of these artists view hip hop in a certain way that, depending on where you stand, is either detrimental to black culture or not. Because we've made it clear where Drake stands. He doesn't even really fuck with rap. Kendrick really stands with the culture. And it seems like Cole kind of takes this holier than thou stance, to where he's the main nigga that's not really holier than thou. To where he's the main nigga who would perpetuate the same things that he claims he's not for, especially dissing and battling, and would be the same one to do those things but then walk it back. Especially when we transition into somebody like Jay-Z, who's part of one of the biggest battles ever between him and Nas. And even he would be honest, at least he would be honest enough even in that interview to say that he's being a hypocrite. But Jay-Z and J. Cole were on two different sides of the same coin. The same coin being that they feel as though, especially from the Kendrick and Drake battle and battling in general, that especially nowadays, the consumers take it to a whole nother level, to where Jay-Z went as far as to say that battling doesn't need to be part of it. He feels battling doesn't need to be part of the culture anymore. Especially coming from Jay-Z, arguably, I've said my favorite rapper is Eminem, but if I'm answering, especially as a black man, the greatest rapper of all time, you flip-flop 1A1B between Jay-Z and Kendrick Lamar. For Jay-Z, not even just Nas, dog, I was going to say it for later. Cameron mentioned that on Otis, Jay-Z could have potentially been dissing him, to where apparently Cameron and them said some slick shit about Kanye. And so on Otis, like a month after the slick shit, Jay-Z says, run up on Yeezy wrong, I might murk you. Some, the asylum can be purchased. Cameron and them was under the asylum label, and Jay-Z pretty much saying, nigga, I can buy you. Like, just on some more shit. Like, dog, for Jay-Z of all people to express that. And he just like Kendrick, it's a cop out, but it's a good cop out. He at least expresses, like, it sounds crazy coming from him and he a hypocrite. But again, I talked about the importance of battle rap and the importance of battling. By the way, even people I disagree with, people like Screw. If I'm somebody like Loaded Lux or a battle rapper, I would be offended by that. Even if he wasn't talking about battle rappers specifically, because Jay-Z, you would think, is for battle rap. I mean, you go get this work. It's a famous Loaded Lux lyric. Even Jay-Z referenced it to where you would think he wasn't talking about battle rap, but I would still be offended as a battle rapper because his statement was battling should not be a part of the culture no more. Battlers battle for their main job, and he didn't specify. So I would be, even just as a rapper, I would just disagree, especially as a consumer. I disagree because we talked about how it gives people, not only does it give people the opportunity to handle a confrontation openly and how they choose to express themselves, it reshapes the culture every time it happens. We get into a moment of Kendrick and Drake to where now, if you're on the Kendrick side, you see a renaissance of hip hop. You see how you get projects from Kendrick Lamar, J.I.D., J. Cole, Clips, Nas, and you get appreciative of how much music is getting put out and how much the importance of having a message is behind your music, to where Kendrick Lamar talks about Watch the Party Die, where we see this facade, and ironically, J. Cole is a part of it, we see this facade drop of the lazy approach to music, to where as long as it sonically sounds good, if there's no message behind it, there's nothing to stand for. Like, no, we're in a moment in life and hip hop, and especially in the world now, where standing for something matters. And depending on what side you stand on, it's gonna show just how much you're either for us or against us. Like, Not Like Us got deemed like this hit, but it's really important to see just how much hip hop is important to especially Black culture, and just how important it is to know where people stand and the things people believe in and the things people won't stand for. And it leads me to discuss how credit, everybody makes their own decisions, everybody consume music how they want to, and everybody chooses to stand for what they stand for. But you realize just how flip-floppy people can be, to where all it takes is a quick apology or a quick tweet for people to turn the other way. And you see people like Kanye West, where he recently dropped his project Bully, and there were a lot of people who reacted to it, even people I look up to. I'm Dante reacted to it. Joe Budden podcast reviewed it. Shout out people like Screwface Jean, who said he is not going to do that. How he is not going to platform that project, because and people like Ice on the Joe Budden podcast who also says this and goes like, hey, it's just an odd coincidence that every time he apologizes, he's selling something. Where every time Kanye apologizes, there's a benefit to him. To where this man has been pretty much claimed a former Nazi. And Screwface Jean made another important tweet and another important point, where it's easy to separate the art from the artist, but Kanye brought it to his art. This nigga made a song saying "Hell Sittler." I don't know if I even say his name and get demonetized, yellow, but "Hell Sittler." Like, dog, that is crazy, dude. That is crazy, dog. We all haven't. That nigga Russell, dude. That nigga crazy. That nigga is delusional. And matter of fact, not even delusional. He's just willingly obtuse. Like, that nigga still fart. Shout out the Effective Immediately podcast, bro. Gina and DJ Head tried to get that nigga every out. We all heaven sent, dog. J. Cole and Kanye heaven sent. But like, that don't free niggas of consequence. Like, this nigga Kanye dressed up in a KKK outfit. This nigga talked badly about Jay-Z kids. And it ain't about Jay-Z. This nigga talked badly about Black children. I'm just not I'm platforming him by even talking about it right now, but I'm not about to go rush to that nigga project. Maybe I'll listen to it, maybe I won't. I'm not about to go rush that nigga project and come on my platform and be like, hey, this nigga Kanye, hey, he back. Like, no, bro, what the fuck? Do we got standards, dude? Do we have standards, dog? Do any of y'all got any type? What do y'all stand for? Truly. And why? When do y'all choose to pick and choose? Because everybody does it. We all decide to view people a certain way or give certain people chances based on if it's family or friends, or you never know people's story. But when do you decide to say, I'm going to speak out on this? And when do you decide to say, you know what, I'm going to ignore this, no matter if it may help people, no matter if it may ruffle some feathers. I'm going to stand for something, or I'm not going to stand for something. But moving onward. Before I get off the J. Cole thing, shout out J. Cole. He's staying busy because they say he also signed a basketball contract to play in China. Listen, J. Cole can't hoop. So shout out J. Cole for, no matter if I agree with everything he say or his beliefs or don't know his beliefs, shout out him for doing what feels right to him and living, man. And I speak so highly of battle rap and battles because it, for nothing else, it reminds me of boxing. Like, at the end of the day, no matter how much somebody talk, the moment you step in that booth and battle somebody and we hear what both sides got to say, there's no more guessing. When two people get in the ring and people do promo and people talk, no matter what, no matter how much people can out-talk somebody, when we see them two get in the ring and fight and punch each other, we really see who's truly the better fighter. And in battles, we truly get to see who is the better MC based on our own opinion. We get to talk about it. We get to judge it based on our own preferences, our own beliefs, our own things we like. And shout out Rum Nitty. Matter of fact, shout out Rum Nitty, shout out Jay Mills, shout out Mickey Fax for keeping this part of hip hop alive and not being afraid to be competitive and not being afraid to show that nigga's not really like that. Because this nigga Rum Nitty clearly made sure to get this nigga Jay Mills up out of here. Like, listen, I'll be positive for a quick second. As a rapper, Jay Mills is a good rapper. And listen, hold on, because I gotta get this off because I've been so frustrated being a consumer because let me make sure. Listen, we just getting an hour in because listen, as a rapper and just as an artist, Jay Mills is cool. As a battler, dog, I'm to be nice about it. I'm just not a fan of him as a battler. Like ever since the first battle I've heard of his industry battle, because he don't. That's been another critique of his. Like, oh, you won't battle on the stage no more. And listen, that's none of my business. But like, at least he's battling. And ever since the first battle I saw his of DNA, dog, this nigga got too old by DNA. That nigga DNA clearly won the battle. And Jay Mills, as he should be, is so confident in himself. But his problem, it's like, I don't understand, especially him as a battle rapper, I don't understand rappers make this mistake. It's like sonically, the shit sounds cool. Like you could flow, you could rap well, that's cool. But the actual disses or lines are weak. And Rum Nitty killed this nigga off Repass. And the Rum Nitty released a track called Repass, dissing mainly Jay Mills, where he also took a few shots at Easy the Block Captain and Mickey Fax, to where I'm not hip to Easy the Block Captain, anything. Everything I know about Easy the Block Captain is got nothing to do with music. I know this nigga got rocked by Papoose, got punched by Papoose. Nobody, for some reason, it seemed like nobody liked this nigga, and I just haven't heard this nigga rap. After this, I'm probably gonna watch his battle with Chess because apparently it was a really good battle. Like this nigga at least gotta be really good as a battler for people to give him the attention they give him. But Rum Nitty, it was a great first shot because it wasn't lethal, it wasn't ether level, but it was a really good. It sonically sounded really good. The disses were really good. The punchlines were really good. This nigga told this nigga Jay Mills, apparently Jay Mills used to be with Young Money, with Lil Wayne and them, and Rum Nitty was making the point that Jay Mills is washed and he's not gonna get that same. He's never gonna get that same opportunity again. This nigga quick little bar, because Rum Nitty's main thing as a battle rapper is his punchlines. A lot of people approach battle rap differently. Rum Nitty highly specifies on his punchlines. So he said some shit like to Jay Mills. This nigga told him, "Nigga, you gonna be up there with Charlie Kirk before you. Then nigga, you gonna be up there with Charlie Kirk before your next shot. You gonna be up there with Charlie Kirk before your next shot, before your next shot. Fuck that nigga Charlie." Hey, phenomenal bar from Rum Nitty. And Jay Mills responded and like, listen, I said it when I heard the Mickey Facts diss. By the time he dissed Mickey, I'm like, oh, he killed this nigga Jay Mills. I have no worries between him because Rum Nitty is coincidentally my favorite battle rapper, so I do have a bias, but I'm here for the battle. Jay Mills, because my prediction, I'm like, hey, I'm not worried at all for Rum Nitty, but with how he structured the diss, it gives him a lot to chew. It gives him a lot of food on his plate. And it gives each of the three rappers an opportunity to release a full Rum Nitty track and kill this nigga. So I'm like, oh, Jay Mills probably will get him. He go kill him for round one. Mickey will kill him for round one. Easy probably kill him for round one. And then if I'm Rum Nitty, I would probably at least give a diss track each to Jay and Mickey Facts because Mickey Facts is his own problem. But respectfully, and I do genuinely mean respectfully, that the response to Rum Nitty from Jay Mills sucked. As a diss, it sucked. As a rap, he's a good rapper. It's cool. As a diss, this nigga told him, this nigga said, listen, everything is subjective. Maybe you didn't like the Charlie Kirk bar. This nigga Jay Mills told him, bro, I think this nigga said Sunday to Wednesday, I rap 4 days. Nigga. I'm just not a Jay Mills fan as a battler. He's not for me as a battler. Mickey Facts, though, listen, Rum. If you ever hear this, it's crazy. So that nigga nice, man. Mickey ain't want to play with. And Mickey has said, first he said the track was going to come out Saturday. I hate when niggas lie. Because then he said he waiting for Jay Mills to get done shooting at Rum so he could release the Prohibition. And it's like, fire track name. And I'm pretty sure Mickey go do what he do. Whether it's on stage or in the studio, Mickey Facts versus Rum Nitty is a phenomenal battle. I just hope for Rum Nitty that he focuses enough on each of them because Jay Mills is the easy fly. You would think he did kind of the reverse Drake to where Drake dissed a lot of people, but his main target was the one he needed to focus on. Rum Nitty dissed a lot of people, but his main target isn't the nicest MC he dissed, at least in my opinion. His main target is the easier nigga to get out of there, and the second nigga he dissed is the one he needs to really focus on. But shout out all of them for keeping battle rap alive. Just in case if I haven't, because I don't think I've had a chance to talk about it from last time I recorded to now. That nigga Mickey Facts absolutely destroyed Truffaut, but at least Truffaut tried, bro. And even though, listen, I'm here for the battle. Rum's diss to Mickey was weird because he said, listen, this nigga said, I can wrap circles around you. I'm like a tourniquet. Split his whole head in three, like a Cerberus. Like, he was cooking them. The punches was cool, but he said, like, he said Mickey Facts, that nigga Mickey Facts be on some Eric Sermon shit. I can wrap circles around you. I'm like a tourniquet. Style boring. He say pretty much his style. He also said his style's boring, and he doesn't really switch the flow up a lot. I don't think this nigga solid. Hey, I don't think this nigga solid. Like, Mickey, I get the diss. I get how you can mistakenly diss Mickey for that. But Mickey definitely is versatile. Like, hey, I guess you got to show Rum the hard way, and this is going to bring the best out of Rum. Because, again, whether we on stage or in the booth, Mickey versus Rum is a phenomenal matchup. I wouldn't know who going to win. I don't know who going to win. But, as I move on to my next topic, I really want to say I appreciate you guys, because not only do you guys give me an opportunity to really, that's just mainly it. You guys give me an opportunity to live my dream. Like, I would love for this platform, I would love to be a voice for the Black community that can speak highly of our community and change people's lives. Like, I love interviewing, and whether it's just me by myself, whether I eventually get co-hosts, whether I do more interviews in my life, I want to be someone that uses this platform to be a voice for the voiceless. I've said that a lot of times in my life, where everybody can't articulate the things that are in their heart. Everybody don't know how. And to be someone that can get people's thoughts out, or to talk about these things and highlight certain things that people would want to address, or interview people and allow people to tell their story. I'm so grateful that you guys, whether it's 5 views, 15 views, I'm so grateful for the people that give me a chance and will be a part of me changing my story and changing my life. Because 2026, this year it's been difficult, but I'm going to look back on this year and look back on this episode, and I'm just going to be like, man, I can't believe I actually did it. And it's thanks to the people who are giving me a chance. So I feel like, real quick, I feel like it's a good thing to go out of your way to highlight the positivity in your life, or appreciate the people who appreciate you. I think we have a problem when people go out of their way to say bullshit, because, like, I fear there's a very interesting conversation that could be had about the Jaden Ivey situation. For those of you who don't know, Jaden Ivey is a former Detroit Piston, then traded to the Chicago, or got on the Chicago Bulls. I don't know how he got on there. He got on the Chicago Bulls. And he recently was cut from the Chicago Bulls due to what I heard and heard about homophobic comments, to where he pretty much condemned the NBA for celebrating Pride Month from a religious standpoint, saying, like, is this of God? And, gay shit ain't right. All the typical shit. Like, I'm going to cut it short. And he also apparently was allegedly, all this alleged, asking reporters, like, do they fornicate before getting married, or some weird shit. Listen, I feel like there's a very interesting conversation. Firstly, I'm going to get out the way first. Similar to the DaBaby situation, you going out of your way to say some bullshit, some homophobic shit, I don't feel bad for you. It's very easy to just ignore shit. Like, if you claim not to like it so much, just ignore it. Like, the world would be such a better place if people actually ignore the shit they claim they didn't like. But I do feel it's interesting when we start to give people certain consequences for their beliefs. And I don't fuck with, even as a Christian, I don't fuck with or stand by what Jada Ivey said. I feel, just like I said, it's very unnecessary. People can love what they love. Let people, why do y'all care? Why? Homophobia is so odd to me, especially as a Black person, because Black people have been the main people who have been oppressed and told that we're less than just for what we do, for what we believe in, how we look. And yet Black people will be the same people to do that to gay people, especially the Black gay people. Like, y'all niggas is weird, but he say from a religious standpoint, hey, that's his religious belief, that's his thing. Okay, you lose endorsements, you lose all that. The nigga can't hoop no more? Damn, the nigga can't hoop just for his beliefs, just because y'all don't agree with his beliefs. And I don't agree with his beliefs. But there you go, kick him out the league. But just like I mentioned earlier, niggas mix up freedom of speech with freedom of consequence. And niggas even try to get off like, well, yeah, he's getting policed for his... No. Again, the nigga can't hoop. That's unfortunate. The nigga not in jail, especially as a Black person. Like, anything we did got us harmed. So at least he, as a Black man, can openly say his beliefs, and he's not in jail. He's not in prison. So He's still in the realm of his freedom of speech. That don't get that nigga the right to freedom of consequence. That nigga worked for a private company and they don't fuck with the shit he said, and he went out of his way to say weird shit. So nigga, bye bye. That's tough. Don't go out of your way to be homophobic. That's the lesson. But I mean, damn, the nigga can't hoop based off his religious beliefs or just because niggas don't agree with him. That's very unfortunate. There is an interesting conversation to be had there. Shout out the Joe Budden podcast. Shout out Mark Lamont Hill, who kind of spearheaded that a conversation about that as well. But all of them, everybody on that cast did a great job talking about it. But to more so segue into more NBA talk, I mean, I'm recording this beginning of April, and you know, I'm very blessed. First of all, I'm very blessed to be a LeBron fan and not a LeBron hater. Y'all niggas weird too. Listen, I haven't talked a lot of basketball on here. That's got to change, especially with the playoffs coming up. But real quick before I say this, listen, a lot of niggas are very weird when it comes to basketball debates. First of all, you don't got to come from my personal character just for a belief. Niggas get crazy about basketball. But two, especially when it comes to the GOAT debate, niggas try to act like either option between LeBron and Jordan. I do. Now, my version of the hot take of the GOAT debate is it's between LeBron and Jordan. There's LeBron and Jordan, and then there's a gap, respectfully. But between LeBron and Jordan, whoever you feel is the GOAT, like, okay, like, it's a good choice. Like, niggas act like Jordan. For example, but the point I'm building up to is LeBron. I feel LeBron James is clearly the greatest basketball player of all time. Like that 41 nigga throwing on lives. If you a Jordan nigga, okay, that's you. I'm gonna be over here as a LeBron fan. But with that being said, though, I'm someone who feels Michael Jordan is clearly the greatest scorer of all time. I mean, the nigga averaged 30 and got 10 scoring titles. Whoever else you want to present, that's cool. That's great. He averaged 30 with 10 scoring titles. So like I think apparently I think somebody said the other day that nigga out the gate in his rookie year was averaging 28. Like Jordan's him too, but LeBron James is phenomenal, and I'm so proud and so happy to not only be a LeBron fan but to be a Luka fan. And like basketball for me has been great for the past few years because LeBron James is my favorite player and Luka is my second favorite player. And so when LeBron retires, it'll be Luka. And I cannot fathom that nigga is a Laker. And to see the Lakers hit their mark on the as the season ends. Shout out Detroit, shout out my city. It was such a weird position for me to be in because I'm a big LeBron fan, I'm a big Luka fan, I'm a big Austin Reeves fan. So in turn, I'm just a big Lakers fan. But I'm from Detroit and from the east side of Detroit, east side. But when they play each other, it puts me in a weird position because the Pistons ended their win streak. Shout out the city for ending their streak. But it's like, damn, let us see them niggas win the streak. And it was with no K Cunningham. Like, listen. Shout out the city. And especially, I'm 22 going on 23 years old. I'm so happy to finally see the Pistons actually with fucking competency and actually as a good basketball team. Like, I'm so grateful that the Pistons are actually good in my life. Thank you. I actually can positively be like, damn, my city is doing a good job. But with the Lakers still being third in the West, I'm genuinely I'm seriously about to trick myself into thinking the Lakers can go all the way. Like we finally can get the Lakers Boston finals this year with Lakers Celtics, Lakers in 7. It's gonna have to be Luka Finals MVP, but LeBron get that 5th ring. I'm about to be delusional because objectively, and we go into the MVP talk as well. Like objectively, I don't know if the Spurs translate and what Wemby is doing translates from the regular season to the playoffs. I don't know who can stop them. I want the Lakers to win as a LeBron and Luka fan. If the Spurs play like how they're playing in the regular season to the playoffs, it's probably going to be the Spurs who win it all. And we're probably about to start the era of Wemby's dominance. And that's scary to see because he's only in, year 3? And if it's anybody that can, because whoever can chase LeBron in terms of all his stats and shit, everything he got to start early. Nigga, Wemby, Now, again, Wemby hasn't played a lick of playoff basketball, so that nigga could play in the first round and be ass, second round and be ass. We gotta see, because if it translates, I don't know who can stop him. Like, I don't know who in the league can stop him in the playoffs if that shit translates over. But I confidently say that so much because I'm so blessed. I've been saying how blessed I am as a basketball fan. I'm so blessed with how much talent it is in the NBA because that nigga Luka just averaged 40 for the month of March and he's fourth in MVP rating. You wanna know why? There's a nigga above him who averages a triple double, who on still like 100-some game streak of like the most efficient 20 to 30 piece ever. And then Wemby being the clear best defender in the league on a minutes restriction, averaging like 24 and 11 with 3 blocks. Like, it's some crazy shit going on in the NBA right now. And if I was MVP vote, hey, I just told you what my second favorite player was. If I'm off the bias, if I had a vote, Luka getting the vote. But if I were to objectively view it, and since I don't have a vote, if I were to objectively view things, again, just like I said with the LeBron Jordan debate, any of these gentlemen you pick for the MVP is a completely understandable choice. To act like it's crazy to pick between these 4 gentlemen between. Now, I do feel the conversation should be between 4, and I'm from the city. I love what Kay was doing, but even before the injury, I feel the MVP conversation should have been between Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Victor Wembanyama, Nikola Jokic. Really, them 3, because for some reason niggas sleep on Duka, but this nigga Luka is literally averaging better numbers than Shai. This nigga Luka is averaging 32. Like last time I checked, 32, 8, and 8. He just averaged 40 for the month of March. For me, even if I'm objectively viewing things, Shai would not get that award. I'm sorry. If I'm objectively viewing things, me personally, because niggas also trying to get this agenda off that assists are like a bad stat. Listen, I cannot ignore a triple double. Jokic has been the best player in the league for a minute, and he should already have 4 MVPs. Well, no. I've said I feel he's at the right amount because I feel he should have got the MVP when Joel got it. I feel Luka should have got it when Jokic got it. So it cancels out. But I can't ignore a nigga after a triple double. That's just me. So if I objectively were to view things, I would give the vote to Jokic for MVP. But even then, afterwards, my second vote would go to Wemby, and then my third vote would go to Luka. Like I'd admit I'm not the biggest Shai fan as a basketball player, but he's very talented. And regardless of if I'm a fucking fan or not, the nigga nice. If you get the MVP, it'll be well deserved. It don't really. I see this take that's coming up recently to like not really care about the MVP award. I'm not gonna go that far personally, but I do feel like, listen, whoever don't win, like these are still mind-boggling seasons. Like if Shai win, we got somebody who averaged a triple double that didn't win, who get clear defensive player of the year but don't win. Luka just put up 40 in March and nigga he going down MVP votes. Like that shows how talented these people are, and we're in for phenomenal. Like the league is in. For some reason, people worry about what happens when LeBron, Curry, and KD retire. Nigga, the 4 names I just met, we are in great hands. We're gonna be okay. Like basketball is in a great spot. There are very talented, phenomenal players in the league, and I'm just lucky to see it. And I want to go on. I want to keep it in sports because I talked to y'all earlier, but shout out my WWE fans, man. Like WrestleMania season is upon us, and dog, listen, the build. Hold on, I ain't gonna get up again. The build, I am nigga. Hold on, got it. Listen. At an hour and 23 in, let me look at the camera one more time. Hey, the build to this WrestleMania has struggled, nigga. Like it's been a struggle. But even though this shit has been a struggle, nigga, this got the potential to be one of the best WrestleManias ever. Wait till I get a soundboard, nigga. This got the potential to be one of the best WrestleManias ever. I'm gonna look at the camera one more time though. Hunter. Niggas be calling you certain names out there. I ain't gonna do that on this platform yet. First of all, I am gonna call y'all out. I don't understand why, especially for the black talent that carries that company, I don't understand what is such an issue or why they can't say Happy Black History Month. This is the second year in a row with that company cannot acknowledge black people in Black History Month, and that's very shameful. And with that being said, though, I'm gonna look at this camera. Hey, listen, if Obafemi does not beat Brock Lesnar, listen, Like I just already addressed, this company already, again, Obafemi, Trick Williams, Javon Evans, Lash Legend, like this company has always, shout out FD Signifier, this company has always had a complex and weird relationship with black people, and especially with Brock Lesnar and black people. I don't want to hear that bigger feud he wins at SummerSlam shit. Obafemi better win his WrestleMania debut. Period. Period. Now, shout out Santi's app. Brock Lesnar got to get his ups. Like in this most recent week, in the new shout out to New Era, Triple H decided to get in between Brock and Oba, and that's cool. Brock do got to get a week where he F5 Oba, because I am very worried if Oba. We know how the company goes. Usually, the people who keeps getting the ups in the brawls before the match don't really win the match. Now, that's not foolproof, but that's usually what happens. So if Oba keep winning the pre-builds and then Brock don't get no. If Brock looked like the underdog going into Mania, we got a problem. Because Oba, this is supposed to be a passing of the torch of like Obafemi is the new beast. He's the new person to worry about. And they have to look as equals. Even though Obafemi is the favorite and people like me are really championing him for him to win, it needs to look like we need to at least, you know how I'm worried? It's good that I'm worried because there needs to be the belief that Brock Lesnar could win so it could be impactful for Obafemi to win that match. And to go down the list since I named them, and it's also why I'm so worried. The decision making of this company is very strange sometimes because I'm not even the biggest Carmelo Hayes fan as a wrestler. Nothing wrong. I'm just not the hugest fan of him. He deserved to go into WrestleMania with the United States Championship. Like, we did not need Sami Zayn to hold the United States Championship to get Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. And then we hopefully are going to at least get the triple threat because Trick and Carmelo already have history. Trick did just rock this nigga and punch him in the face. So it'd be reason for him to be mad and like want my rematch and then triple threat. And I think it'd be a really good match. And I think we can get the same conclusion I think they're trying to get to anyway, because I love the fact that Oba, Trick, and Javon are getting pushed as the future. And we have a potential for Oba to beat Brock, Trick to walk out with a belt, and Javon to walk out with a belt. It's going to suck because I don't want that to happen to Penta in the next match we're going to talk about. But I'm about to be first of all, Sammy's a nigga. Even though people have said, turn Sami Zayn heel, good way to do it, have him beat Trick Williams. Not a bad idea, but fuck that. Just like I said with Oba. Listen, these white men, I don't let dog. Trick Williams better walk out of WrestleMania as United States champion. And I'm going to feel so dope. I'm going to feel so happy for him. It's going to be so dope, especially him and Lash Legend being able to hold championships together if Lash Legend don't lose. And her and Nia Jax lose. But it's going to be so dope to see him get the U.S. title so early. And then they got a ladder match with Penta. Is Penta Rey Fenix? No, excuse me. Penta, Dragon Lee, Javon Evans, El Grande Americano thing. Hey, it's a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship that they kind of just randomly threw together. It's going to be cinema, but fuck it. Bro, if they let Javon win, that's going to be so dope if they let Javon win. Again, unless they about to put Penta in the world title picture, Penta don't deserve that, but like, Javon. Bouncy, shout my nigga Javon, dog. And like, this WrestleMania on paper has such high potential. Like, we're finally getting Cody Orton with a potential double heel turn. Like, Randy already has turned heel, and we could potentially get Cody Rhodes turning heel. And then we're also getting Punk Roman. For reference, my number 1 and 2 favorite wrestlers of all time are CM Punk and Roman Reigns. I have Stone Cold. For people that know me, really, really know me, Stone Cold Steve Austin used to be my one. I'll just say it makes no sense to play morality police with the WWE. And sometimes when you find out things of these people outside of the business, you kind of just get a different view of them. And because of that, allegedly one of Stone Cold Steve Austin's, I saw a video of just one of his alleged used to be wife saying he used to be putting hands on her, and that's again, I'm gonna speak. At first, I'm like, it ain't worth speaking up on, but I'm gonna be the person to speak up on it and say that's weird as fuck and disappointing. And allegedly, Stone Cold's doing that shit with other women. So if just hearing that, I don't know, it just drop him down to 3. And again, people could criticize Punk's politics. Shout out Bill. I know that CM Punk video coming. Listen, I'm gonna be there. And then I don't know about Roman. I love Roman Reigns, especially a cancer survivor. Shout out Roman. To have CM Punk, first of all, to have CM Punk and AJ Lee, but to have CM Punk back in the company already just blows my mind. Like, young 12-year-old me is like happy. Like, I remember CM Punk leaving the company and like wishing, because I had WWE 2K13, I think it was, when he had his arms crossed on the cover, and then I remember him leaving and wishing like, dang, I wish Punk was in the game. Like, I wish Punk was in the company. So for him to actually be back and for him to then wrestle the childhood wrestler I grew up with to love, because I've always loved Roman Reigns, even with the Shield and the Big Dog. So to see him wrestle Roman, it's like, again, why are y'all doing this to me? Like, if you want me to pick, I want CM Punk to win. Like, he is my one for a reason. I do give him the more favoritism, but like, I'm not gonna be surprised if they give it to Roman because Roman Reigns get the favoritism. I'm not gonna be mad if they give it to Roman. I'm just, how they do that. And then with how much legacy, pun intended, and history there is between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, for us to not only get heel Randy, but for them to finally tell the story of Cody Rhodes finally realizing he's full of shit as well, and realizing not only that all the people mainly that celebrated with him at WrestleMania 40 have betrayed him, but to realize that if he's going to hold that title on his shoulders and he wants to prioritize being the golden boy, he needs to own that role of being hated. And the WWE, I can't wait for them to eventually turn him heel. The nigga literally looks like an asshole. He looks like a dickhead. Like, he looks like Homelander. Like, Cody Rhodes can play a phenomenal heel, especially if y'all niggas know his work outside WWE. Like, Cody Rhodes can play a really good heel. I think he would probably be a better heel. His time of being the babyface is up because all he does is win with no story. So unless they're turning him heel at WrestleMania, I don't really see no point in him winning, and we could just get Randy 15 and let him do the heel run. But Randy not gonna get booed. Randy's still getting cheered no matter what he do. You know the best way for Cody to get booed right now? Beat that nigga. Because he's about to get cheered in St. Louis. Randy's still been getting cheered. It's like, he about to get cheered in St. Louis. He RKO'd Jelly Roll. Niggas not go. He had Cody bloody and they was cheering for more. We want heel Randy. They're just like heel Cena barely was getting booed. Like, at least he was getting some boos. Niggas is not booing Randy for nothing. I'm not either. Like, I'm like, damn, this shit fucked up. But I'm like, I'm not booing the nigga. I'm not gonna boo Cody when he's heel either, because I fuck with the heel. I just told you my favorite wrestler is CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Stone Cold Steve. Like, I fuck with the heel. I fuck with the era of the anti-heroes. And I want them to turn Cody heel. So I would say I want Cody Rhodes to win if they're turning heel. If the plan for him is to turn heel. If it is not, I want Randy to win. But if you only want me to pick one, I want them to turn Cody heel. So I want Cody to win. Because if once you take the title off of Cody, first of all, you just put it back on. If you take the title off of Cody Rhodes, he doesn't really have any direction other than going for the main titles. And so unless he go for the world title and then we do Roman Cody at SummerSlam, Roman Cody 3 at SummerSlam, then that'd be a whole other thing. But I don't want Roman Cody 3 unless Cody's the heel, Roman's the face. Because that tells such an interesting story, especially if Cody turns into Roman and Roman can be like, oh, you're turning to me now. You're such a, like, oh, cinema. But, yeah. Bro, shout out Jade Cargill. She's going to be on the Joe Budden podcast. That is so awesome. And her and Rhea, this is also another dream match. I don't know who to pick here either, because it's like David versus Goliath women version. Like, these niggas literally, bro, unfortunately, their promos together have been stale as fuck, but I really love the addition of B-Fab and Meech into the Jade, and then them jumping Rhea and making Rhea look a little weak. Because, bro, Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill are both built like fucking tanks, but Jade is built like such a tank that she can even little bro Rhea. She told some like, Rhea, you're not even that buff for real. And Rhea like, you know what? You're right. You're a buffer, but I can fight better. Like, it does. So shitty promos, but it's gonna be. I hope it's gonna be such a great match. I hope we don't get a repeat of like Tiffany Stratton Charlotte, where we could tell like there wasn't no chemistry and the match was kind of. I don't think it was that bad, but it was bad. So I hope we get a really good match, and then especially on Carl, I can keep going. Like the women's tag match, we got niggas, we got the Bella Twins, we got Charlotte and Alexa, we got Lash and Nia, and I think I'm missing a team. I'm so sorry. I think what is it, Bailey and Lyra Valkyria? Is that the last team? Like, bro, I would love for Lash Legend to continue her streak of being the tag champ. I don't really think the Bella Twins need it. I don't think Alexa and Charlotte just had it. I don't think Bailey and Lyra need if that is the last team. I would just love for Lash and Nia Jax to keep doing what they're doing. Let's see. I really love Dominic Mysterio. I'm a big fan. He needs to get his ass kicked by Finn Balor. I would love to see the Demon, but I actually agree with somebody like Santi Zap who feels like regular Finn Balor need to win, dog. Like regular, his dog. Finn Balor is the nigga nickname. Like the nigga do not win nothing. First of all, especially if Jay Uso, and I'm a big Bloodline fan, if you can't tell, so I really like Jay Uso. I really like the Usos. I like all the Bloodline, to be honest. I'm a big Solo fan, big Jacob fan. I really love all the Bloodline. If Jay Uso can get a world title run, Finn Balor can get a world title run, and fucking LA Knight, should get a world title run. What the fuck are we doing? Like, dog, this nigga LA Knight has been still getting cheated. Bro, shout out Wrestling School podcast. Shout out Sancho. Listen, if LA Knight don't get money. See, this is why I be so obsessed with making sure my mic's still working, bro. Oh my god. My mic died for the last 20 minutes of the episode. So I'm gonna try to get through the rest of my list as quick as I can, because my phone about to die too. But as I was saying, if LA Knight don't win Money in the Bank, dog, I don't know what to do no more, man. And gosh, I forget where I was in those last 20, but I'd want to make sure I shout out. Did I leave off at the last Legend match? I'm pretty sure I left off there to where I apologize if I repeat anything because I can't hear the last 20 minutes. But I know you guys have been here for a while and this has been a pretty long episode. So with the women's tag match, I really would love for Lash Legend and Nia Jax to continue their reign. And I really have loved what the company has done with all the young talent, like I mentioned earlier, people like Oba Femi, Javai Evans, Trick Williams, Lash Legend. Like, like I said, I can't believe for the company to be so heavily lifted up by black people that they can't address us properly and address Black History Month. But since you guys have been here and since that last bit of the recording was cut off, I'll end it here. And I really am so grateful for you guys to stay with me and give me the time you guys have given me just for the rest of what you guys missed from the past for the last 20 minutes. I think I've grew up watching Floyd Mayweather, and before this most recent thing, I would think any version of Mayweather beats any version of Pacquiao. But it's very weird to me that Mayweather is going out of his way from Pacquiao himself and his team, breach the contract and claim that the fight is an exhibition when it really isn't. And this make Floyd look scared. Like, it make it look like Floyd maybe not as confident to beat Pacquiao. And then apparently he took an advance and took some of Pacquiao money and still is trying to go back and breach the contract. And it's weird. But other than that, Pooh Shiesty and Big 30 robbed Gucci Mane apparently, and I said it in the original, but for Pooh Shiesty to be on probation and to come out of the stuff he's been through and the lifestyle he is and still portray this type of stuff, still acting this crazy and apparently hold up an AK to Gucci Mane, like that shit is crazy. Shout out T.I. and the Harris family and Papoose for killing 50 Cent. 50 been on some weird shit for a minute. And please be mindful of the content you guys consume. There's a situation where a guy named Uncle Cliff got mad at Ice Cube for talking about him. And Ice Cube had to literally come out and say, like, dog, it was literally an AI video. That wasn't me. I didn't talk bad about you, and I can't apologize for something I didn't do. But with that being said, I'm so grateful for you guys to give me the opportunity and the platform to live my dreams. Like, I can't wait to look back on this platform, like I said, and be grateful for sticking through it and keeping faith that no matter how hard this year has been for me or how hard it's been for others, that we can get through it. And I hope the time that I've spent recording and then getting this last bit in for to replace this last 20 minutes, that I'm been able to entertain you guys, been able to at least interest you, help you get through the day. And I'm so grateful for you guys to give me this platform, and I really appreciate you guys for listening to what's on my mind. Thank you, and I hope you guys have a blessed rest of the day.